from the top.
I'm Brendan O'Connell.
I'm Carl Salader.
And this is the
Funny Fit Guys. And we are totally stoked. We have been on YouTube for 2 whole episodes, and we already have our first fan email from Scott G, who is a British artist living in Toronto. And what does Scott have to say to the Funny Fit Guys?
You guys are not funny. Well, we're not fit either, Scott.
No, we are guys. We have one of the 3 down.
Right. That wasn't enough to get us a spot on YouTube. The guys was taken. But we think of funny and fit as a direction rather than a state of being.
We're trajectory.
Yeah. We're not claiming enlightenment. But I tried to explain that to Scott, and he said, "I know you're not fit, but I do you anyway."
That's an endorsement.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah. I appreciate that, but I'm not an upper class Brit, nor am I gay.
And I think one mandates the other, really.
It's kind of like a syllogism, you know, like all upper class Brits maybe, but not all
have to be.
Exactly. Not all gays are upper class Brits. No. Would be the following one. And what do we have here?
We have Men's Health. Men's Health did a pretty fascinating little interview that says a lot about our motives, about 6-pack, 4-pack, 8-pack, and general appearance.
Yes, that's what we're talking about today. You almost have to have rockin' abs on the cover to sell a magazine like this.
Men's Health, Men's Fitness, they're all about the abs. It always comes up.
How do you feel when you pick up a magazine like this?
I feel a little bit of that old guilt, you know. I feel like essentially like I'm buying a little bit of porn, you know. It feels a little on the sketchy side for walking up with this one.
Right. Please put that in a paper bag so
can we hide that?
Nobody sees me on the way to the car. Yeah.
And always when I'm looking at it, I always feel way less than healthy, way less adequate, way less than up to par. That's pretty much a dependable factor going all the way through.
Right.
But their interview was, hey, would you rather, if you had to do one only, would you rather look really fit or be really fit? Most men chose look really fit.
Right. I think that's in some ways obvious. But it's actually a trifecta that we're after. You know, you want to look good, you want to feel good, and you want to have more sex. Let's face it, it's all 3. We're traveling down that barrel.
Vanity, health, and getting a little.
Right. So I was explaining to my wife the difference between a 4-pack versus a 6-pack, and Ryan Phillippe has the 4-pack and then the 2 up top, so a 6-pack. And she just said, she'll take any drink as long as it's not a keg. Just get rid of the barrel shape and you'll be okay. She'll settle for a juice box. She doesn't care. So she's pretty supportive.
It's pretty open-minded. Yeah. Broadly supportive. That's us. We've been looking at that. We have, I guess this muscle here is called the abdominis rectus. Have I got that right?
Right.
And can you say that on YouTube? Is that fair play? We're just trying to get rid of our abdominis roundus at this point. We're trying to get that thing flat.
Well, also the thing that Carl pointed out when he described it as buying porn, it's intimidating for a man who is not fit to see.
Like glaringly hot.
Easy, Sparky. It's intimidating because when my wife was pregnant and I was kind of showing, I remember playing kickball with this group of guys, and they were all ripped, super fit dudes. They were doing handstands and yogic flutters, and
so they're peeling off the shirts.
Exactly.
You're like,
I was not gonna let my beach ball out, but when it came to playing the game, and this goes back to our earlier point about would you rather be fit or be athletic or look athletic, and they looked really athletic, but quite frankly, I had nuns who could play kickball better than these guys. They were terrible. And so
we assume that by having nuns you mean as teachers.
I had them as teachers.
I just thought that might want some clarification.
Throughout. And we have a new friend?
Yeah, we do. Bex Bex is our first friend on Facebook, and welcome, and Yahoo. She has an exercise program that's pretty cool.
Rock and roll workouts on YouTube.
Yeah, check her out. She has a home gym going on. Next week,
we're going to do blended drinks, our protein drinks, blended drinks in general, smoothies, superfoods. We're into
this is our brand new one. It's the unblended part of the blended drink.
Yeah, this is water.
We're going to compare powders and take a look at what should be in your smoothie and what should not be.
Right.
Organics versus China-grown organics.
So eat well and break a sweat. This is the Funny Fit Guys.